drivers and crazy tourists planning on driving all night to get to wherever the hell they're going. I had an aunt once who stayed up all night, all the time. She's the best aunt I ever had. Lived with the windows open all year round. Lived to be like 88 or something. And I was off telling him about the wonderful things my aunt had done, and all the time he was nodding in agreement and bouncing his head to the beat with a big smile on his face. Then he came in with tales of his aunt, and we talked on every subject from the full moon's importance to lovers we seemed to have had in common. He was a jukebox that never stopped spitting out the hits. You could jump in any time and change the name of the tune, but never the tempo. He was a gold mine of past summer favorites and new tunes you'd never heard before. He jarred something familiar from the protected hiding places of old memories and made it live again. I took him a few hundred miles to a truck stop near Moose Jaw, but somehow he had taken me a whole lot further. Wow. Yeah. I had a request for this, so here you go. This is from the book. Oh, yeah.
We're elastic here.
Okay, yeah, somebody was asking for this. So here's The Hitchhiker's Guide to Jerry Garcia's favorite writer. Okay, now, this is the part I read last year. A bunch of you weren't here, or you won't remember it, or I'll read it differently or something. It's the appropriate part, because it's where I finally got to Kesey's farm in Oregon and got to see the bus for the first time in 1982. You know, the whole thing that inspired this whole thing. Wow. So it makes sense to share that little magic moment with you for my encore. Finally, I was here. After reading about it so many years ago, gotta be at least 5 by now, which was a quarter of my life ago. Here I was at last, one-on-one with the psychedelic magic carpet. It was like Stonehenge or the Great Pyramid or something, this giant man-made creation outdoors, with some intangible, magnetic, mystical, mythical, reverential presence. And yes, damn it, it does look alive. It is alive. The windshield for eyes, the front grille for the nose, the fat bumpers are the smiling cheeks, the mirrors, the ears, and it's wearing a round white cap on its head. Or maybe it's bald, I don't know. But it's definitely a person. So of course the first thing I do is climb inside to see Neil's wheel. If only we had his 49 Hudson to put next to it, or maybe the Travel Bureau Cadillac. But until then, this is the only wheel we know of that transgenerational driver ever worked. Maybe this wasn't a church, but I'm not going to say it wasn't a shrine. There was something sacred, spiritual, transportive, and weird about being in the Holy Goof's cockpit. This Cody Pomeray of the next generation, this muse for 2 masters. And it was funny how the thing was paint covered from stem to stern, just like the graffitied New York subways I rode every day. Every square inch covered in some crazy color. In fact, layers and layers of crazy colors. And I began hearing Keith Moon's claves bringing Magic Bus into the soundtrack, as the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour began screening right there in the front window. I looked out the side window and God, there was the Partridge Family driving by saying, "Come on, get happy." I saw the school bus that delivers the cast of Jesus Christ Superstar into the desert in the opening of that cinematic masterpiece. And there was the Green Tortoise pulling out of San Francisco for New York. And suddenly I flashed on my own old school bus trip across the country in 1978 with a bunch of Winnipeg musicians and pranksters. And how all of that and so much more was inspired by this exact terrestrial spaceship I was standing inside. I'm on the bus. I couldn't believe I was here. And I started thinking, nobody else will either. I had to get a picture somehow. Aha, a mirror, yes. The only shot, the whole shot, the Gregory shot. But the inside rear view was already gone. So I went back outside and began to twist, petrifiedly, carefully, slowly, so slowly. Could you imagine? Yikes, Neil's ancient, delicate driver's side mirror, so I could get my frame to fit perfectly in its. And I started thinking about all the lessons I'd internalized from Kesey and that book about him, as he coyly refers to electric Kool-Aid acid test. And having just seen him on TV a few months ago goofing with Garcia on that goofy Tom Snyder show, you trade off. And reading every interview or article on him in Rolling Stone and anywhere else I found, and how my time with him these past 2 weeks had reinforced every preconceived great notion and then some. And about how every event I produced since I was about 16 years old was inspired by the acid tests. How my whole life had been a way of recreating that group spirit of collaborative, unrestrained fun. And how he taught me it was okay to go beyond what you were scared of. Not only going through the door, but playing when you were on the other side. The openness of possibility. Embracing the goodness in everyone you meet. Engaging them, playing with them, pranking with them. Tootling the multitudes all road long. And that there was a responsibility that came with the gift of magic. If you got the cosmic giggle and could see the golden light, let alone knew how to dance in it, it was incumbent upon you to share it with as many people as you could. Not everyone sees the grand prank of life, and it's our job to shine the light in the strangest of places for people to look at it right. And if you get it, you have to grab it, share it, push it a little bit further than it's gone before. You have to lead. That's what Kesey taught me, leading. Inclusion, on the bus, which is a bigger concept than on the road. This was about all of us, not just some of us. Jack writ the road, but this is the road writ large. And it's our duty to ride on and drive that bus further. The greatest lunchtime crowd in the history of Prankster. Everybody back and here's the one hell of a memorable weekend.
Bass player just fell off the stage and got a nice nosebleed. So that's some support because he's doing it on his own. Wow.
So Brian Hassett actually has done a second edition of his book that's dedicated to this event, or it's actually the 5th edition if I understand that right. Where are you, Brian? What number is it? 5th edition? 6th edition. So I think it's amazing. I definitely wasn't trying to get you the hook earlier, my friend. And everyone, grab a book. Let's hear it for Brian. Everyone in the room. There's a couple of announcements and things that people should know. This is us and our gathering. So around 3 o'clock, we're going to be making lunch. If people want to come and help make lunch or clean up, report to the kitchen. It's going to be a relatively loose affair. So this is a do-it-yourself. When I look in this room and I heard what Brian was saying, I heard talk of openness and hearts. And what I see is a bunch of open-hearted people that have come together to celebrate being human with each other. So let's hear it for the love in this room, and let's hear it for the very special wizard who has inspired us all to gather together. Let's also hear it for his mom, who's healing in the hospital successfully after her surgery today. I also want to thank Linda, Anonymous. I'm so happy that you came and joined us again. We love you, and we are deeply honored by you joining all of us and helping to share some of the depth of the wisdom that
Sorry. Stuff I'm working on. Can you hear me now?
So this piece is called Paradox. Consider the insignificance of your existence. 100 pounds of matter on a planet orbiting a star in a galaxy in the universe. How important can you be? Consider the significance of your existence. A unique mind, ideas, conceptions unique, changing family, friends, society, vital individuality. Consider the relationship of the two. Both are true. Does that upset you? And we have an amazing 3 days of music, food, dance, art. There's art area outside on the far side of the road. We have the Going Further documentary here for a preview. Let's hear it for Colby and Nancy. Also have an amazing gift from Ashley and the Secret Space of Dreams. I think that when I last counted, we had 15 or so bands and performers as well. It's going to be an amazing time, and let's see if you are still getting feedback, Mark.
Like less monitors up here. I don't even need any monitors. Less volume.
It is my great pleasure to introduce Mark Haggerty.
Less volume.
Wave.